Well, I'm making videos as I go. The dinghy's up and out of the water. It's very sad looking. I've done not much to it. I was listening to the weather and deciding what I'm doing. Most of the water's out. It was definitely full. Now, can I let it down without letting all the water back in? Can I get the plug in without letting all the water back in? Can I fill it full of air without getting water back in? These are questions. Basically, I have a very low tide event. Tide's coming back in right now. You can almost see the current in the waves, the wave pattern flowing. You can definitely see it down here. At least I hope you can see it. So, high tide is at 3 this afternoon. So I'm thinking about heading out about an hour before high tide when I'm getting up on slack tide. Hopefully that'll all work out. It's warming up nicely. I'm about ready to change hats. Maybe lose a pair of pants. Possibly the socks first. We'll see. Also thinking about making a cup of coffee. I did not make it to Port Richey, which was my goal. Looking at the weather and everything else, I don't know that I'll be able to do a whole heck of a lot. Let's see if I turn on this other one as well and have that one point down at me. That's a little better. So, not exactly holding it still because the whole boat's moving. I did not make it to Port Richey. I made it about halfway. I'm anchored off Antelope Key, south of the sandbar. Put up my sail. Oh, excuse me. Coming out of the channel, and promptly got 4 knots instead of the 1 that I was, or 1.5 that I was getting from my motor. And then went out quite a ways, turned and tried to tack back and lost ground. So furled the sails and turned on the motor and motored northeast, or rather northwest, because I had gone east on my tack. And now here I am out at Antelope Key. I'm here for the night. Tomorrow I will be possibly heading into Port Richey, which is north still. It's northeast. Of course, northeast winds tomorrow, so it's coming out of there. So that means just motoring on in and spending gas. Or give up, turn south, and mosey my way that direction. I'm going to touch base with my buddy Jay in Fort Lauderdale, because he has offered me a position which will pay well and basically get some money back in my pocket and allow me to fix some stuff up and get some stuff rolling. Not to mention that Fort Lauderdale is a boat hub, so I should be able to find parts and materials and everything else relatively easily. However, finding a place to be in Fort Lauderdale on my boat, that might be more difficult. So we shall see. But not sure how everything's going to work out or what's going to work out. I honestly don't know. But I am getting ready for bed and hoping that Jay calls me back. I know he was struggling to get a job done before sun's down. The sun is down. It's 18:18. Excuse me. That's what I get for waking up at 3 a.m. Yeah, we'll see what happens. I got my rudders up. I got my keels up. I'm out on a 7-to-1 road for my anchor and holding steady. I have turned off my anchor alarm because there's really nothing I can hit. Well, that's not true if I just give up and go for a while, but chances are it's going to grab again. So I might slip a little bit, but I don't think I'm going to slip a lot. You never know. We'll see. Pretty confident in it. But I did mark down my latitude and longitude. So tomorrow morning when I wake up, I will compare notes and see how far I went. Not exactly open water. Definitely a whole lot more wave action than I was getting in the Anklote River there in Tarpon Springs. That was downright steady. Basically the only time my boat really moved was when somebody went by fast and gave a little bit of a wake, or when the wind was twisting me around, but that was more 2D. This is definitely 3D. Up, down, and side to side, as opposed to just side to side. So that's good. Ate some food. Wind generators keeping everything topped up at the 90 percentiles. And I'm going to bed. Till tomorrow. Well, I did drag anchor a little ways, but not much. Still in a pretty good space. Looks like I drug up. Maybe 100 yards. Excuse me. Sun's up. Things are doing all right. I'm afraid to step outside because it's still pretty chilly out, but things are mostly where they're supposed to be. Although that rudder is not supposed to be down at that angle. Guess I didn't get it tight last night. Pull an anchor in this. I do believe I'll use the winch. That's my anchor rope coming across right there. This one. So should be able to do that, but I'm gonna make some coffee first. Cold instant coffee. Yum. Well, I have communed with everyone that I needed to commune with, and I'm turning back south. I'll be trying to make it up for Christmas to visit my biological father, spend Christmas with them. I'm heading out into the Gulf, which I've got this marker up ahead, about 20 yards off or so. No, maybe 100 yards. Hard to tell. Get past that. Supposed to be to the north of it, to the right of it, but that's okay. And then I'm going to turn south, head back down to Fort Myers, across the Okeechobee, the Inland Waterway to Fort Lauderdale, where there's a job waiting for me. And I can make some good money to be able to afford to fix the things that need to be fixed and pay the people that need to be paid and all that fun stuff. So, change of plans. It seems to be what I'm supposed to be doing. Definitely have had adventures over the last 4 months. Lots more adventures than I really wanted, but adventures nonetheless. And we'll continue on having adventures. For now, though, I'm going to let the weather dictate somewhat what I'm doing and where I'm going. As on a sailboat, that's a lot more comfortable. Let's see. Pretty smooth seas. My sail has telltales now, so I can see what's going on with the wind. Currently turning up too close to it. I'm going to be to the south or to the left of that marker based on wind and depth of water. Well, looking at that, that looks like there might be a sandbar right there. So I'm going to double check my stuff. There we go. That's a little bit better. Slight belly there. Telltale's going nuts. Just to the left of that. So far, so good. Made it to Port Richey at about 10. It's noon now. Called people. Spoke to a marina. Spoke to a few people. And basically came to the conclusion that heading south makes the most sense. Of course, once the wind really catches the sails, I go faster and turn more downwind, which is kind of what I want, but I want to get out here first. So, good morning. It is the 9th of November, at about 9:25 in the morning. The sea state has settled down dramatically. Last night was a rough sleep. Very rough sleep. Rather, dozens of sleeps. But today's a new day. It's the first morning waking up on the boat that I was like, I don't know if I want to do this. But we'll see. Making my way south. I did not set my mainsail. Just got my Genoa up. It's doing pretty good. Let's see. Doing pretty good at maintaining a course. The double sail really seemed to make it more difficult. And of course, because I can't see them well because of that and everything in the way, it's harder to tune the sails. And of course, it's not set up for racing, so it's hard to tune the sails. So, I'm moseying on south. Should be crossing Tampa Bay entrance here in a couple hours. Been invited to go back in to Braderton and say hi to people there and spend another night, but I think I'm just going to continue on. A, because the winds are coming out from the bay and that's not something I want to play with again. And B, because I really just want to start having something to do during the daytime. Here's some good waves coming. Let's see. My motor got buried in water last night many times because of the waves coming through. Those are tiny ones. Adjust the, there we go. I'm gonna make adjustments every 5-10 minutes. Whereas yesterday with the much higher wave state, it was more like every 10 seconds having to adjust to fight with it. Part of that was my sail set and lack of tuning there. Part of it was the wave state being so high. It was a long day. Hand steering is not the funnest. And it's alright if you got several people. But if you're by yourself, it gets old fast. So, yeah. Starting out the day. There's land. I was just off the point last night. Moving forward. Well, here I am day, I don't know. Let's see. $11:10, 8:18 in the morning. Took off at about 8. I was just about over there. Matter of fact, you can see my trail in the water still. At least I can see my trail in the water still. That's Anna Marie Island. We got 2 sails up. Wind's doing beautifulness. Nice, steady, somewhat southerly trajectory. But I have to keep an eye on it. There we go. That could be a little tighter. Did laundry yesterday while I was waiting around for the weather to change. Not all of it, but a good portion of it. It was all hanging up in here on this, but last night I pulled it in, covered everything up, put out the cover, and went to bed early. Got up at about 4 o'clock this morning and was on the road by 4:30. Doing pretty good, sailing towards the sea. We're actually mostly south, almost due south, not really. I'm at about 160 degrees, and then in a few hours I will turn back over to about 80 degrees and head into Cape Coral, Fort Myers area. And that ought to be good. But just wanted to share the laundry. It's all going good. Got enough wind that I'm contemplating putting up the mainsail. But the headsail's so much easier to deal with. I can set it up like this and it'll hold course really nicely. Once I have the mainsail up, as the wind and the waves change slightly, the heading changes a little bit more than slightly, and so I find it more comfortable with just the headsail, which is what the previous owner had told me. So there you go. In general, things are going good. Oh, I'm looking forward to warmer weather. Looking forward to being in. I am on the Intercoastal. It is 11:12 at 7:32. I've been rolling since about 7 o'clock, 6:45-ish. I'm on the Intercoastal, which looks like this. I've seen a pod of dolphins swim by. It's pretty peaceful and beautiful with the exception of my engine noise. But there's, you know, not much wind. You can see from the reflection in the water. A little bit of wildlife and birds. It's actually pretty clean. The water is clear enough that I can see the bottom, although I don't think you can with this camera. Pulled off last night, set 3 anchors so that I was over right about 10 feet off the shore. Couldn't see in the dark the water line, or what was under. Woke up this morning, saw my anchors just sitting there on the bottom, not biting into anything, but the flow was low enough that it held me well. Heading down towards Fort Myers, and looking forward to a nice, relaxed day. Kind of kicking myself for not heading back out to sea from Venice, which is where I pulled in at the Venice outlet, inlet, outlet, same thing. But came in there, refueled, refilled my water jugs, and decided to go down the Intercoastal, which is a twisty-turvy way with bridges and other things. So don't know if I made the right choice. I know the wind is supposed to be really light the next day, 2 days,
and being out to sea with no wind is not really all that fun, because I'm motoring if I want to get there, or I'm just sitting and waiting, which means it might take a week to get there instead of a couple days. So I have come to the Intercoastal and I'm headed south. It is what it is. I'm going here in Sarsaparilla Bay, going through the Sarsaparilla Channel. Slept over there last night. The water is so clear, and it's about 3 meters deep, and I'm working my way upwind slowly. My dinghy's still sad. I got to rebuild that whole back end, but I have to find a place where I can do that on land, so that might take me a little bit. Who knows? Where'd I go? Directly into the wind, almost, kinda, sorta. I gotta get up here and then make a turn, and then I'll have wind with me. Yay! Hallelujah. Boiled some eggs, cooling them in seawater, which makes for the right amount of salt, actually. Tastes pretty good. Well, I am headed into Fort Myers today. It's the 16th of November. I hung out off of Chino Island for a couple of days. Did a little bit of work on the boat, did a lot of relaxing, and trying to figure out what my next forward movement is going to be. My job doesn't start till December, so I've got a little bit of time, and running short on cash, so trying to make appropriate decisions. But I'm headed into the city dock today, and I'll be there for a couple of days at minimum. Get some laundry done, take a shower, say hi to some friends, play some shuffleboard, and just try to be good. I sailed off of my anchorage this morning, which was beautiful, until I got over here where I had to turn the corner and go directly upwind. So now I've got the motor started, the sails are put away, and yeah, continuing to move forward. I'm motoring along upwind. There's Cape Coral. There's Fort Myers. Trying to get up here into place, and all of a sudden my steering was becoming really unsteady. Not unsteady. Steering was steady, but slow reaction time. Like exceedingly slow reaction time. To the point where I'm like, what's going on? So I look over, and I had to pull that rudder because there's no steering on that rudder anymore. Somewhere between there and there, it has come disconnected. So, having a great time.